Hello, hello. I wanted to come and tell you a little bit about my new fragrance that I got. So I went to Paris last week. And so I flew into Heathrow on January 20th in London. I stayed in London overnight. And then I went to Paris on the 21st, stayed overnight there on the 21st, stayed overnight on the 22nd, and left out to go back to London on the 23rd. And so one of the things that I wanted to do while I was there was visit Perfumes de Marly, which is one of my favorite perfume houses. And so love, love, love. And also I noticed that the perfume, I wanted this Palatine perfume, which I think was released in like maybe September, October. And I wanted it. I went to Neiman Marcus. I smelled it. I loved it. And I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling the price right now. And so I was like, well, since I'm going to Paris, I know that the price for it is a lot cheaper in Paris, and it's actually over $100 cheaper, I guess, when you get done with the taxes and everything like that. And so I was like, perfect time to buy it. I did not know that Valea came out with a new version of Valea Exclusive. And so when I went there, I was like, oh, okay, there's a new version of Valea. I didn't know. So I have like all of the perfumes de Marly except for Delina, because I have Delina Exclusive. And to me, Delina and Delina Exclusive smells very close to one another. So I really can't justify having both of them unless I'm just like, oh, I'm doing a collection, which I've stopped just collecting. I've started just, perfumes that I actually am going to use. And so I smelled this and I loved it. I have all that they currently have except for Valea Exclusive. I want to do a comparison of those to see, how close they are to one another. And then also there is one that they discontinued, which I can't think of what the name of it was, but I don't have that one. And so if you want, people who are getting that one are paying, a lot of money for it because it's no longer produced by the company, which I can't recall what the name of it is. And so I got this Palatine one. And I was like, it said like something about audacious, bold women who, I was like, oh, I like that. I like the sound of that. And so then I was like, well, let me go to, I'm going to go to Neiman Marcus. I'm going to smell it. So I went and I smelled it. And it just smells so lovely. It's just, this purple is so regal. That's why I had a purple moment, because I'm going to go walking when I get done. Like here, it's 50 degrees where I'm at. And they said it feels more like 42, but 50 is pretty warm in January. It smells so delightful. And the purple is so regal. I just feel like royalty. And of course, all of their bottles have the beautiful jewel at the top. And so I'm wearing this today, and I am wearing it with Bath and Body Works because I'm notorious for mixing the highs and the lows. And so I'm wearing it with the lavender, Bath and Body Works lavender. And then I also put a little butterfly on. It doesn't have any lavender in here. It has like iris, which smells a little bit, but it gives me that same powdery type of feel. And this is actually, it's so good. It's really, really good. And so this is actually named after Princess Palatine. She was married to the brother of, she was a German princess, and she was married to the brother of Louis the 14th. I think it was his younger brother, if I'm remembering correctly. And so his name was Monsieur, was her husband's name, I believe. Hold on. Yeah. She was his second wife of Monsieur Philippe the First, Duke of Orleans. And so she was the Duchess of Orleans. And so her name is Elizabeth Charlotte Madame Palatine, Duchess of Orleans. And so she was at court. She was at the court of Louis the 14th of France. And she's known for writing correspondences. So it's thought that she wrote over 60,000 letters at court, and 5,000 of the letters have survived. And so 850 of them are in French, and the remainder of them are in German because she was from Germany. And so basically, her letters are really the only um, documents that give people an idea of what court was like during that time period. So it's kind of, all of her letters have a cultural historical value. And so it's just like one of the only descriptions of the Baroque period at court during that time. And so this was named after her. And I believe the top notes are mandarin, bergamot, and pear. The middle notes, or the hard notes, are violet petal, lavender, floral bouquet. And the base notes are sandalwood, patchouli, musk, and vanilla. And so it's, when they sent out the email, they said Palatine, the new creation from the Maison, revisits the violet petal. This note, which we tend to think of as traditional, to be the heroine of a very contemporary, unexpected composition. And so when I smelled it, I very much so loved it. And so it's Julian Sprecher, if I'm pronouncing the last name correctly, is the creator of it. And he said his vision was an atypical, offbeat personality, which is kind of, I guess, the feel that you get from the letters that she drafted. She drafted those 60,000 correspondences, they think, and about 5,000 of them, they have 5,000 letters from her. And so there's something radically modern about her that reminds me of how today's liberated young women dare to stand up for themselves just as they are. And so it is the audacity of self-expression is what they're saying here. And Palatine takes inspiration from a colorful 18th century personality to boldly revisit an iconic note, the violet petal. To celebrate audacity, and this is from the creator, Mr. Julian, he says, to celebrate that audacity, I wanted to revisit the violet petal, a note that tends to be perceived as traditional, and make it the heroine of a composition that is, on the contrary, quite contemporary and unexpected. And so I'm going for a walk, but I put on some purple, in honor of the bottle of Palatine so I can be coordinated. And then I made sure that my eyeshadow was coordinated. And unexpectedly, I made a smoothie, and the blueberries made sure that they were coordinated with the whole motif. So we have all the coordination going on. But I just love it. I went to Perfumes de Marly. I met Antoine. He told me, I came in and I was so excited, and I had, my little camera going. I was like, do you mind if I record? He's like, go ahead. And so I was like, what is your name? And he said, my name is Antoine. And I said, Antoine? And he was like, he looked so pained. He was like, ooh, the Americans. No, but he was a good sport. He was like, yes, Antoine. And so he said it much more, it was much more French. Yeah, Antoine. And I was like, oh, okay, I like that. And so Antoine helped me, and he was just delightful. Love him. And he was so kind and so friendly and so patient with me. With trying to, I was like, no, he was like, well, do you want to smell anything? I said, no. I said, I have everything. I was like, the only thing I do, I was like, well, I don't have Olay Exclusive, and I don't have Delina because it smells a little bit too close to Delina Exclusive for my nose, to have them, to justify them both or whatever. And I was like, I want this. I came for this. And he was like, okay. And he was like, well, I'm going to give you some samples. I was like, Antoine, make sure you give me a good, array of samples. And he was like, I am very generous. And I was like, okay. And so he was very, very professional, very patient, very kind, as I was trying different things out. And I was like, well, Antoine, I have to take some pictures and you're the photographer. And he was like, oh, okay. So he played along and was happy to be photographer. And so he was a great photographer. He took a lot of different shots of me, and he was like, okay. He's like, how about, he's like, oh yeah, that's good. And he was, a good cheerleader for the shots. And I was like, okay, well, let me pose this way. Let me pose. He was like, okay. And so great customer service, very patient, I was like, I'm going to be a gauche American. I'm going to take lots of pictures or whatever. He's like, no, don't worry about it. He's like, I'm happy, to take as many pictures as you like. He's like, I'm just happy that you're excited to be here or whatever, and that you're happy, you're smiling, you're laughing, you're happy. I said, I am happy to be here. I am so excited to be here. And so he appreciated that. And so that was that. I got this perfume, which I loved. And I also, as I was leaving, I saw this Delina Crème pour le corps, and so, or body cream in anglais. And so I saw this Delina body cream as I was leaving out. And so I was like, oh, I can get this to layer with my Delina exclusive. So I got that as I was leaving out. So these were the two things that I got from Perfumes de Marly. And then I got a lot of, he gave me a Delina shower gel, like a little sample of that, which I need to find somewhere. And then like a whole bunch of, he gave the Valleja exclusive. He gave me that to try, and then some other things, which I was like, okay, well, I can use these as little travel sprays or whatever. You never can have too much of the perfumes that you love. And so I am going to put the footage from the store and some photos. And I was like, of course, I was like, Antoine, take a picture with me. I was like, we're friends now. And he was like, okay. And so I was like, he was like, well, what is your name? I said, well, it's Georgiana. He was like, well, we have a football player named Georgiana. And I said, oh, soccer. And I said, oh, le foot. And he was like, yes, you know a little French. I was like, well, I took 3 years of French in high school, which was a long time ago. High school was a long time ago. And I actually took 1 semester in college, I think my freshman year of college. But again, that was a long time ago. And if you don't use it, you lose it. And so, but I have to go back because the time just flew. I didn't get to see like anything, all the things that I wanted to see, I did not get to see. So I have to go back. So Antoine said when I come back that he's going to help me to learn French. And so I was like, okay, Antoine, I will be back and ready to learn French. So that's that. And so as we leave, I'm going to put that footage at the end of the video. And then Ruth 3:3. It says, now do as I tell you. Take a bath and put on perfume and dress in your nicest clothes. And so then go to the threshing floor, but don't let Boaz see you until he has finished eating and drinking. So in the words of Naomi to Ruth, if you're up and at 'em today, go take your bath, go put on your lotion, your emollients, anoint yourself in the oils, put on your perfume, put on some nice clothes, and feel good about yourself today. I mean, that's what Naomi said to Ruth. And so I'm just reading what's in the book. And so y'all have a blessed day, and I will leave you with the footage of Perfumes de Marly.
Once I find one, I'll let you know. I'll get one to you. It's hard. It's hard everywhere, right? No matter where.
You want to do the texture phone? Okay.